16, I decided I didn't have enough foreign material in my body and I needed some synthetic mesh put in there because every time I would move, I'd have a little alien trying to pop out of my belly. It was quite strange. Evening, y'all. What's going on? Yeah, I'm just chilling at the house. Um, I know this is kind of off the main topic of this channel because it is a car channel, but it's pretty much the reason why I started doing YouTube. Um, back in I've had multiple hernia surgeries, so I can't really perform as well as I used to at work. Can't throw down doing the flat rate work and stuff like that. I got an hourly job at the county here where I live. Um, like I said, the main reason is these hernias, so kind of want to go over that. Um, so back in October of 2016, I had a small hernia, like up here, just top of my belly. It was just a little one, poked out every now and then. I had it for years. Um, had the hernia mesh installed, and almost immediately, um, it was still there. And actually, I think it was actually a little bit worse. And went back to the doctor a couple times. They kept telling me it was fluid. It was fluid. And I'm like, okay, so I just dismissed it as it being fluid. They didn't offer me any options. So that was in October. So then, like January or February of the next year, that would have been 2017. My family doctor was, doing my annual exam on me, and he sees that bump and he touches it. I'm like, ooh, you know. He's like, how long has that been there? I'm like, that's that hernia I had fixed, And he's like, they didn't. That's a hernia. That's the same thing as it was before. I'm like, oh, jeez. So, I went back to the doctor that did it, and of course they're like that time. They're like, yeah, it's a hernia. I got to get a CAT scan, spend a bunch of money, and then they're wanting to schedule me surgery again, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really feel comfortable having you do that again. So I fumbled around for, it was another year and a half. It was June of 2018. Like April or May of that year, I found a doctor. Did a bunch of research, and this guy's really good. He's done multiple hernia surgeries. He's real. His bedside manner's good. I called my doctor, and they said, yeah, he's great. Go with this dude. I'm like, okay. So I go through the same motion. They got to do a CAT scan. I got to do an exam. Schedule the surgery. It was on June the 5th of 2018. Put a big piece of mesh in there. Took the old mesh out. Put like a 12 by 12 mesh in my belly. And so anyway, I'm going to redo that. So June the 5th of 2018, I was in the hospital for 2 days. They took the old mesh out, and then they put a 12-inch by 12-inch piece of mesh here in my whole belly, which I've got a big belly because I like to eat. Came home. I just was tired all the time, wasn't feeling good. I got to where I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. My ears were ringing. I had a horrible headache. I couldn't hardly pull myself up out of bed. I fell one night. I couldn't get back up. I just slid pretty much like I did the splits because my body just couldn't hold itself up. So the next day, my wife took me to the emergency room. I had lost a lot of weight. I mean, I'm 6'2". I'm like 225-ish pounds right now. I got all the way down to like 178 pounds. Man, I was skinny. I was sick. So I had a lot of pain. So come to find out, I had an infection, but they didn't know where it was coming from. And I was in the emergency room. They just pretty much make sure you're not dying. So they gave me some antibiotics. I stayed overnight. I went home. I think I was home for a day. Went right back, and the doctor did the surgery, and another general surgeon that does hernia work was there, and they decided, yeah, there's something going on. So that was on June the 18th, so that would have been like 11 days after I got home from the first surgery. I was in there for 10 days. They had to take the mesh out. Um, it punctured my bowel, pretty much is what it did, and so when they went to repair it, it kept pulling apart. So they ended up having to cut like a foot of my large intestine out and put it all back together. And then I had this scar from like my like where your sternum is all the way down to my belt line. I don't even have a belly button anymore. I had to leave it open because there was infection in it and let it heal. So I have this scar that's like an inch wide, a foot long. It's a horrible scar. I have nerve damage from it. I have pain all the time. I've got to be very careful at what I do. Then I go back to work and I didn't go back till like August. I think I was home for like 2 months and started doing light duty work. And then I had another hernia pop out down low on my left side, like above my belt line. So, I waited until the next year, until March, to get that fixed. So that was March of 2019. I had another 12 by 12 piece put in. So I've got like 2 square feet of mesh in me. Yeah, that was March of 2019. I was in there for like 5 days then. So there was a lady I was talking to in the hospital. She told me about all the hernia mesh lawsuits and stuff. And she's like, you really need to look into that. This is a big deal. You've been through a lot. You really need to look into it. So I got a hold of one of them. Actually, I got a hold of a couple, I think, and went through the motions, filed all the paperwork. It's going on 3 years now, because that was before my last surgery. That was right after the third one, pretty much. Actually, it says I've had 5 surgeries altogether, because they had to do the colon surgery when I had that issue. So I'm in the hernia mesh lawsuit thing, because two of the three, actually three of the 5, sorry, are the brands that are under the recall. So I just want, if you guys are having problems with a hernia, go see your doctor. Get it under control fast. Be careful. When you're lifting something, make sure you're breathing. That way you're not straining and trying to blow out another one. But I know a lot of people are like, well, how much are you going to get? How long is it going to take to get it? Well, it's kind of an unknown, especially right now with COVID. But in my case, every case is a separate case, not just not like you ate bad cereal and they send you a check for $5. They send everybody a check for $5. That it's all on a personal basis. I mean, I've heard tales of a couple $1,000s up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's unreal. It's an unknown. So, but I will keep you up to date if I hear anything. They're saying they're going to get back into the courts by September of 2021. So, I mean, it may be a couple more years. So if you're in one, just hang in there. I hope everybody that have to deal with this problem is doing okay. I get better every day. I have some bad days. I have some good days. Where the nerve, I have nerve damage on this one side. I can't feel like this much in my stomach from my belly button side over. That's kind of aggravating. And it's really touchy. Like sometimes I just rub up against something. It feels like somebody stabbed me. I mean, it's just, the nerve damage is really, it's confusing. It's like almost backwards. So, but, yeah, like I said, I know it's a little off camber of, what I usually do on this channel, but that's kind of the reason I started YouTube. Was I'm hoping that I can make a living doing this stuff and not have to work real physically hard. I can use my brain and pass on knowledge that I have, and tell stories and goof around. But this is hard work too. It really is. It's very hard work. It doesn't come easy. You don't make a lot of money from it, especially in the beginning. I think I made like $3 last month or something. You have to make $100 to get a check, so it'll be a while. So, But yeah, I just kind of wanted to let everybody know that that's, you know, kind of part of my journey, why I changed to this. I mean, I probably, if I should have done it a long time ago is what I should have done, but I never did have the time to do it, and it takes a lot of time. I mean, you know, I work 40-hour job a week, and I probably do this for 40 hours a week too. So, but anyway, thanks for listening, and you know, if I helped anybody out, you know, let me know if you got any questions about, you know, the hernia stuff. I can answer them, you know, to my knowledge, because I've been through a lot with it, man. I'll tell you what, and it's a rough road to go. So, and I'm still dealing with it, but I'm getting back. And like I said, every day is better. Some days are better than others, but you know, we just got to keep at it. So, um, yeah, I think that's about it. So I just kind of want to fill you guys in. I appreciate you listening. I love y'all. Peace out.